Hey guys, welcome back. I wanted to talk today about what happens when you are writing and it is just feeling like the world is sucking you dry, or you're trying to write something and you're trying to be creative and you just feel like you have nothing left to give. So today I was at the coffee shop doing my usual Saturday morning writing, and I had some editing to do. And I was going, and I usually listen to music, and I like to listen to music that I know fairly well so that I can just put it on, kind of make it loud. That way I don't have to listen to the people talking around me, and I can kind of get in my own world and just go. So had my headphones on, had some music on, had my coffee, and I was starting to kind of I usually will read, I don't know, a page before or a couple paragraphs before where I'm starting if I'm editing, or even if I'm writing. I kind of like to get myself back into the scene or the character's mind that I am writing in. And I came up to this paragraph and I knew that it was a mess. And then I kept reading a little bit longer and it was even more of a mess. And it just was not formatted correctly. There was lots of stuff. And it was kind of chaotic, and for me, that's really difficult to see how to fix it. How do I make this organized? Because it takes a lot of thought process. I have to sit and think. And so I literally was spending 30 minutes on this one paragraph that I was trying to edit, and I couldn't see how to do it. And I was trying. When I create, I like to feel like it is not just me creating. I feel like I am co-creating with God, and that's kind of my process. And there are some people that think that that's the craziest thing in the world, but so I just was kind of like, okay, God, what am I gonna do? What can I say next? How can I organize this, and how can I sort out what is superfluous and what needs to be in there? So I kind of like got up, walked around a little bit, came back, sat down, and I just started deleting stuff. And that is hard for a writer to do, or especially for me as a writer, because I feel like it's all precious. And what if I erase something that I really, really need? And so I just kind of went at it with just abandon of like, okay, let's get rid of this. I don't need that. And so it took probably about an hour and a half to work on this chapter that I'm editing and kind of reformatting. And the process was so hard for my brain to kind of think through, and I realized that that's just, for me, having to weed through the chaos is really difficult. But I have to keep going. I really wanted to just stop and like read my book that I'm reading right now, or scroll on Facebook, or message somebody or text somebody, but I really needed to guard that time and keep it really focused, because I knew that if I did not complete it, the next time I came back, I would have to start all over again, even though I was still working on the same thing. So as I'm kind of like going through this process, I'm feeling more and more drained, and I'm like, okay, this is when I need to stop. So it's okay to have goals in your writing and to stop, to say, okay, I need to finish this chapter and then I need to stop. And it's kind of like this balance that you have to kind of see, when do I need to persevere through something? When do I need to keep going because it's going to be really great when I finish it? And when do I need to stop and allow my brain to kind of do something else or something different? And it's kind of like a balancing act with both of them. So again, I would just encourage you, think about as you're creating, when you get really frustrated, sometimes don't stop. Sometimes keep pushing through. Even if you don't get it right, even if you know that it's not quite right, push on through. Get that paragraph done, get that chapter done, because once you've gotten that whole thing kind of over with, you'll actually find that you have increased your writing and your creative ability, because then you'll be able to go back later with a fresh brain and you'll be able to finish, sanding off those parts that don't quite flow well, or you'll be able to see exactly the right word that you need to use. But I've also found that those times when I am really struggling getting through and I feel like it's just draining everything out of me to get it out, I'll go back and I'll actually be like, man, that is really good. I can't believe I wrote that. So sometimes it's just a matter of our perspective, but really kind of figuring out what you need to do and involving different techniques in your creative process is going to really help you to be productive and to push through when it gets really hard. So let me know in the comments, what are some things that are hard for you? What do you do when you feel like you have to keep going and you can't keep going? And I'm not just talking about writer's block. I'm talking about when you're creating and you know what you want to do, but you don't know how to get there. Or you see what you have and it's just chaos, and how do you create from that chaos, or how do you organize that chaos? So I look forward to reading your comments. Take care.